How do I know if it's a keloid? That's a damn good question. Okay, so yeah, here's how it goes. Chances are you have a granuloma. An irritation bump is what they're also called. That is the most straightforward example or name for it. Reason being, what those come from is you've gotten some kind of environmental contaminant debris on the jewelry in the track. This is not your fault. This is just because you live your life not in a bubble. Okay, so like this happens to the best of us, and basically those are the ones that tend to be they're red, they're itchy, they're inflamed. They tend to be much more tight to the jewelry if they like almost like radiating out from where the problem is, you know what I'm saying? And they do afflict more people on average than keloids do for piercings. You know what I mean? Like most people will have a problem with a granuloma or with an irritation bump before they necessarily have a keloid, because keloids come from the fibroblasts in your skin, which are just the most prevalent cells in your skin. Isn't that a cool name for them though? And what they do is they produce collagen and other materials that make up the architecture and the structure of our skin. In more layman's terms, without them, we're not doing any of that healing stuff, yo. And so yeah, basically sometimes fibroblasts will kind of go Karen and they want to see the manager, and when they don't get to see the manager, they freak out and just start spewing collagen everywhere. Okay, and so when that happens, that's how you get a keloid. It basically overproduces tissue while it's generating a healing scar tissue, for lack of a better term. Now, keloids are going to show up about 3 months after the initial wound, whereas granulomas can show up at any point you get something in there. Okay, so the thing is too, is like I said, granulomas tend to look a little more angry. They tend to be more red and aggressive and noticeable in that because it's an irritation. Whereas a keloid, it tends to just be this inflating little lump of skin, okay? And it doesn't really, generally speaking, it's going to go out and away from the wound track because it's going to look for the easiest way to pile that collagen within the tissue, okay? And they're going to be discolored, but in the same range as a normal scar would be on your body, okay? Now, the thing is there are methods people try and utilize. I have begrudgingly even suggested natural remedies, which are the first things I usually go for. And the reality of it is, if you think you have a keloid, if you fall within that 3 months to a year category, and it is something that's just a big, ever-growing or consistent lump, then you may need to go to a doctor. And if you do, they are probably going to do cryotherapy on you, which is essentially the same process they use to remove warts and whatnot, and like skin tags and things. And then they will probably give you corticosteroid injection in hopes of trying to alleviate, if not completely stop you from getting more keloids. Stay awesome.